a lot of content creators do film and how they, you know, market themselves in the restaurant and everything. And a lot of them try to shift to go with the flow because they feel like that's the path to go. I will 100% say, and it's nothing against anybody, but I will say like, I'm 100% authentic to me. Like my page, whatever I post, it is authentically me. Like if you know me, that's my vibe.
You're now tuning in to Unfiltered.
Izzy, if you're watching this, please sponsor us.
Perrier, sponsor, please.
This thing is good.
Fire.
It's good. If not, we're going to have to go with the Walmart brand, Great Value. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how we start Unfiltered. Guys, so welcome to another episode of Unfiltered, FTL. We have a very special guest. We go way back. I mean, throwback. The one and only, I wouldn't even say she's a foodie. It's just a woman of many hats. I'll let her introduce herself, so go ahead.
What's up, everybody? My name is Dorleen. You also know me on Instagram as Simply Lean. Like he said, I am a woman of all trades, marketing, social media, content creator, food blogger, lifestyle travel, you name it, I've done it. And I'm from Florida, y'all. Miami girl.
Yep. Awesome. No, so thank you for being here. So I definitely wanted to highlight, because obviously at Unfiltered, we're all about talking about marketing without talking about marketing. I think, if anything, you fit exactly what we're doing because you have been around doing marketing for different types of clients, for yourself, learning it from the bottom up, seeing what works, what doesn't work. So it's pretty cool to the fact that, I mean, you've even done professional dancing and, go Panthers, right?
Yes.
Right.
Look at my
Hopefully
boy.
by the time this is out,
we got the Stanley Cup.
2-time champions. All right. Get us some tickets, please.
Please. Former dancer. Come on. Let me help my boy out.
Exactly. Yep. So, no, I mean, my first thing is, we go back a long time ago. I mean, I know your brother, your family, we used to work together at some point.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty cool, and this is where social media kind of was able to like keep everybody connected, right? Because you see people grow, you see people disappear, you see whatever. So out of nowhere, I saw that you created your page and you were doing the whole foodie thing, right?
Yeah.
Which at the time, I would say when you started, there were some other food influencers.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as like now, like everybody and their mothers is a food influencer. I think you went in at the right time where you weren't brand new when everything just started, but you did have competition.
Yeah.
So first of all, how did that journey go? What made you just say, hey, let me start vlogging and put these videos together and see where it goes from there? What made you do that?
Honestly, that was never the plan.
Okay.
Never the goal. So I used to go on several trips or do anything with like my friends. And actually one of my friends, his name is AJ. He actually used to film.
Okay.
Like he vlogged. Like that was the vlogger of the group.
Got it.
So he would film us and do these cute, the cute videos for us when TikTok wasn't really TikToking like that, but he would make the cute little videos for us. Okay. So I was like, ooh, AJ, like I could do that. Let me try. And it kind of like sparked off of that. I'm like, okay, people like to see like what me and my friends are doing. Yeah. So let me post about it. So then that's what spiraled for me to start like recording and taking pictures. I've always loved taking pictures. Like that's my thing because memories for me is like a thing. But the video, once he started doing it, I was like, oh, this is good. And like everybody's starting to like trying to ask like, where did y'all go? What did you do? And I was like, let me put you on. Like
there you go.
That was the excitement. So when I started doing it, I was like, okay, this is like a thing. Like people actually were like DMing me like, where did you go? Like you and your friends look like you're having a great time. And I'm like, oh, this is something. I didn't start off with food.
Okay.
I would just be like recording
like experiences or wherever you were.
Like wherever we traveled, things that I was doing just around the way. Like if I was doing a photo shoot for somebody, like that's what I was recording. Then I went to an event at YOLO. I got invited to go to YOLO to do like a food experience over there. That was like my first one. And I had met other influencers. And one of them, we both were kind of like stuck in the middle of something. We were trying to figure out like, what do we really want to do? And this is like, in Instagram.
Trying to find your niche. And
we're like, okay, everybody's like, you just have to stay consistent. I love that. You just have to stay consistent. You do. But you just have to stay consistent. But like, no one's really like guiding you.
No,
one's
and you
really
got to
telling
find your way. I mean, you find your niche. I mean, yeah. We talked about that in a recent podcast. You know, I asked some of the influencers, like, how do you guys make funny videos? And like, that's not how I started out.
No.
You know, so sometimes you never know. It's a curveball it throws at you, or you evolve based on your experiences. And then that's it. You're known for that. But it's always good to know what the true story was.
Yeah, it was never food, y'all. It was never.
So was that your first like food vlog in a way at the YOLO event?
So, and I didn't even record it like it was food.
Okay.
I recorded it just like it was an experience. Like I was an influencer that got invited to an influencer event.
Yep.
The other girl that was with me, she was food blogging, but we both literally had the same mindset. We were like, we don't know if we really want to do this. Like, like we just didn't know like what path. And then it was like, we looked at each other, we're like, we're going to do it like full throttle. So it was like that event happened maybe like February or March, one of them. And I kind of still slacked. And then like June came and I was like, you know what? I'm going to post for 30 days and I'm going to reach out to God knows how many restaurants. Do it for free. Here we go. Let's go. I'm going to give you the content. And those 30 days in June, that was the most consistent I was. And that was the most interesting time that I was dealing with at the moment.
And it's hard. I mean,
it was hard.
Because you had a full-time job at that time, no? Or
no?
So, so you took advantage that you had the time. Okay, good.
I was freelancing still. So it worked. When I say it worked out perfectly, I was like, I'm going to commit to 30 days. They always say in 30 days.
That's a way to be consistent, though. That's a way to be consistent because you're doing a content collection and then you're ready as you're just nonstop.
Yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, social media is a beast. You got to feed the beast, right? And that's the thing. Like, and that's one way, right? At one point when social media started, it was all about like just post as many times. But now it's gotten to the point where it's like that doesn't work anymore. You got to have good quality, and and I'm not talking about like high end cameras. People are viral off their phones, but you need to be able to be either answering something to somebody or create a community that loves what you do. Whether you're giving advice, tips, or whatever the case may be in your way, and be unique. Because if you're the same, then have you guys ever followed somebody, a foodie, and all of a sudden there's extra other foodies, hey, recommended. You're like, okay, there's like, it's a whole community of foodies. So it's like, what makes you stand apart, right? So that's my next question. What made you find, and so I'm kind of going, we started here and then now maybe fast forwarding a little bit, but what makes you a little bit different than a typical foodie that is, maybe starting out or has been doing this for some time at your level? What is your stamp? What is that stamp in your content that you're just like, that's me?
Yeah, that's good. I would say my content, honestly, I see how a lot of content creators do film and how they, market themselves in the restaurant and everything. And a lot of them try to shift to go with the flow because they feel like that's the path to go. I will 100% say, and it's nothing against anybody, but I will say like, I'm 100% authentic to me. Like my page, whatever I post, it is authentically me. Like if you know me, that's my vibes. And when I go to these restaurants, that is the one comment that I appreciate from all of them. They love my energy. And when they see my videos, they're like, that is you. Like that is the energy. That is the vibe. Like we love how good spirited you are. And I genuinely do this because I want to help a brand and I want to help a business. It has nothing to do with the money for me. Has nothing to do with how much food I can eat. Like, thank God I can eat the food. But wholeheartedly, like, I want to help brands and I want to help restaurants. Like, that's the biggest thing for me.
I think, because again, me being an owner of a marketing agency, we handle so many like collaborations with other influencers, whether they're foodie or experienced foodie or whatever it is they're doing. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. And I sometimes, even the ones that you got to pay for sometimes, they go in and get out. And I'm just like, that's it? Like, what? I was like, you didn't even say hi to the owner, nothing. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, and yes, it's business, but at the same time, I feel like, look, we're all human. And I feel like energy plays a big part into this. And I was going to say, if you didn't answer, I was going to be like, you bring that energy, like from out of the gate. I mean, we've done collaborations for some of my clients and they've always told me like, who that girl was, get her back here. Cause wow. I was just like, that's great. That's good. So like, and then being authentic too, because I've also seen a lot of foodies that are like starting out and I feel like they're okay. Yes, you're highlighting them on your platform. You're growing your page. But I think they forget that they have to grow a community based on you, not just on like you saying good reviews, because I feel like some of these reviews are just like kind of fake. This food is amazing. First of all, not everything can be amazing.
Not everything's amazing, guys. It's not.
It's just like, come on. Like, this is great. This is great. It's like, yo, relax. So, you know, I think the fact that you keep it real and, you know, just let them know what's going on. And yeah, of course, you're going to have your favorites and all that. And without, you know, bad mouthing other restaurants, stuff like that, I think it's very good to kind of keep the authenticity in the videos. And people, you can't fake good energy. So unless people you're a hell of an actor. But
listen, but people, even if it's fake, you can feel when it's fake. Like, you know, you can catch someone's vibe.
Exactly.
I'm big on that.
Perfect. So no, I mean, that's great. So yeah, I think a lot of foodie influencers or any influencer in particular, you gotta find that branding, right? Because essentially you're branding yourself.
Basically.
You know, because now the purpose of it, I mean, let's like, for example, like Pika City, right? I don't even know how he looks like. I just hear his voice.
But that's sold for him.
Yes.
Like, that literally is him.
And he doesn't just do food, he does experiences too. You know that he has a little stamp at the end where he kind of mumbles.
And he goes like really, really fast.
The first time I saw a video, I was like, what the hell's going on here?
I like pressed it back. I'm like, wait, did I miss something? And I'm like, oh, that's his that's his line. That's what it is.
And then, you know, consistency. Like, he is consistent on the type of editing he does. The type, I'm sure by now he probably has a team, but they're very consistent in the sense of how the message is relayed. So you know when it's a video for him, right? So I think that's very important. Now, when it comes to, you know, you building your page, right? When you started building it, because I remember I was following from the beginning, and then, you know, it's been growing and growing and growing. And it's great because what I kind of took from your growth overall till now is that you didn't give up. You kept going, because you're going to have that like high right away, but then it's going to kind of stagnant. It's going to get plateaued. And now it's like you make a decision, and a lot of people just drop. So it's like you continue going. And when people said, oh, that's it, it's over, you continued. So that was great. So you adapted based on times or what's going on. Now, when you were doing your collabs with the restaurant, did you also have the opportunity to do collabs with like other influencers and collab together?
Yeah. So I did a few of them with another influencer. But that was like us meeting each other. So I didn't do that many with so many. I just did a couple with one of the girls. And then I met new people and I did like a few with them, but a lot of them were just starting off as just me. Awesome. Yeah, because I mean, essentially you guys, in the sense, and when I say you guys, I'm talking about influencers in general. You guys, the influencer market has created a connection between, at the end of the day, everything in marketing is data. Data. Big companies are asking for your email, your phone numbers, all that, because they want to sell you something, get you, whatever case. It's the same thing with restaurants, with everything. It's just we do it in a different way. So at the end of the day, everybody's got to eat. We got to get you through the door. How do we do that? We can do an ad online and post a pretty picture, but that only goes a far way. You need to get that like authentic feel by somebody local. And that's why I call it like a micro influencer, where you're localized and you're going to areas in your town. And then your followers are like, if she went, she's my neighbor in a way, like, you know, you live in the area. So I would like to go and experience that. And then good or bad or the ugly, you know, the fact, whatever it is. So I think that's super important. You become pretty much a Google review, basically, in a way, a virtual Google review is what you are. Because instead of just seeing like what's going on, they're like, they can visually see it. And that's why video is king nowadays. Now let's touching upon the word video, because I'm sure you learned that you doing this, you had to learn how to video edit, lighting, how to microphone maybe. What was that road of you learning, making mistakes? And what would you maybe tell an influencer starting out today? Like, you know, don't freak out. You know, you got to kind of take it around, you know, one punch at a time. How was that process for you? Did somebody teach you, or did you learn on YouTube University? No, I literally winged it. On my own. I got InShot and I got CapCut. And CapCut is my thing. CapCut sponsor. But I got on CapCut. So crazy thing, my first video that I posted to do food and did my first voiceover, which was insane. was, to me, because I'm such like a perfectionist, to me, it was not good. Guys,
Okay.
it wasn't. And craziest thing, that video went viral.
That's
that
the thing.
video is the one that went viral for me.
That happens when we do for our clients, we do videos. There's times that in my team when they're watching this, they're like, there's times that I'm like, we're never gonna post that. And it gets posted and it catches fire. And I'm just like, I don't know. I literally just tell them like, I guess people are weird, man. I don't know. To me, I didn't think it was gonna be catchy like that. But sometimes, look, social media is weird. It's a weird community in the sense of like people like difference.
But if you have, so what I learned from it, it all depends also what restaurant and how good you can make the food look and being authentically you. Yep. So my first one was High Roller Sushi. If you haven't tried them, I'm telling y'all.
Where are they located?
It's in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh.
Fort Lauderdale.
We might have to bring you guys in.
Listen, my boy. Okay. When I say it was that hub, everything was.
The reason why I don't know them, because they're like, oh, he doesn't know. I don't eat seafood. So that's why.
They have everything.
Okay.
They have like lamb, they have chicken.
No, but if the name has sushi in it, to me it's like X.
He did. I'm going to show you his page. He does everything. But it was the food and it was the quality and it's how he set me up, to be fair. Like, but I was freaked out because I'm going to keep it real with you. It took me a while to talk on videos. Yeah. Because I don't know.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, you do a lot of the voiceover, you do it after the fact, right?
Yeah.
Which I actually think is very clever because now you have full control to watch the video and say what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Because doing it the other way, you can do it, but you almost have to like what we're doing right now. If we mess up, let's go back and all stuff. Which here, we don't care. So if we fucking say something, we're going to keep going. Carl, you're going to edit this out. And if you guys are like, who the hell's Carl? That's our editor. All right.
Shout out to Carl.
That's why he's unfiltered, baby. So no, I mean, it's pretty, I like how, I mean, I would say one word is you did a good job of taking something where people were doing it on their phones. And I mean, you're doing it on your phone too.
Absolutely.
But you made it elegant. Because it has a flow.
Okay.
And it goes with your name. It goes with the way you ended. It goes with even the theme and the way that you even take the shots. You do a good job of giving us a 360 of not just the food and the ambiance. And it's just like, I feel like I was there. So that's where, that's why, when I saw that you kept growing and doing a good job of that, I was like, I got to bring her into my clients' restaurants. I was like, this is a no-brainer. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I mean, in any restaurant that is looking to collaborate, please collaborate. I got you. So definitely, awesome. So you've been doing that, but let's talk about. So let's take a step off of the foodie for now.
All right.
You've also been in marketing for some time. I mean, you've also worked for clients, restaurants, and So what would you say is something? Because let's talk about what's happening now. Mm-hmm. A lot of restaurants are closing. A lot. Yeah. So now let's take it a couple years back. During COVID, mm-hmm. An opportunity happened in the restaurant industry where real estate went down. Yeah. So now a person that always wanted to open up a restaurant couldn't afford it. Now they're like, wait, the rent's not 10 grand, it's $5,000. Oh, I can sign maybe a 3, 4, 5 year, 10-year lease. Let me do it. Yeah. But then they go, and those are the mom and pops. They go in, and the ones that have marketed and learned the hard way, or maybe got a team and all that, have survived. Some, or they have a good product. Yeah. But a lot of them just kind of went in and just started teaching themselves. And then they're wondering later, like, why is customers not coming to the door? So like, what were some mistakes, when you working with past clients, something like that you've seen in the restaurant world that like maybe caused them to shut down in a way? Is it lack of leadership? Is it lack of structure?
It's if you don't have a good leader mm-hmm. in your system, it's not gonna work. Mm-hmm. And if your leader isn't paying attention to every aspect of the business, it's not gonna work. Yeah. And if you don't have quality team members that care about the business just as much, it's not gonna work. I did realize also, if you don't have a clear understanding of your brand and branding, I'm telling you, it's not going to work. You're going to think about 10 million things because that's just human nature. You want to try every single thing. You want to try this. You want to try that. You think it's this color. You want this. You want to top the next person and do something over the next person. Like, yes, is that market research? Are you supposed to look at your competitors? Absolutely. But you need to understand what works for you. And I think a lot of the restaurants in the past. Because these new ones are rolling. They're rolling out consistently.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But in the past, from what I'm realizing, because everybody's just trying to like get in where they fit in, they're not taking the time to really figure out what is your brand? What is your brand colors? What do you stand for? What meal do you want to sell? Like, what's your, like, they didn't process that. So like for me with past clients, that's what I was realizing. Like I would say certain things and not even realizing they don't even understand what I'm talking about. And they would bypass the whole entire, and it's like, you're stuck. Cause at the end of the day, you gotta do
I feel like they get impatient because they see success. And like you said, like for example, right now, and if I jack up this restaurant's name, I apologize, but I think they're in Cape Coral, El Toro, Mexican or something like that. And they're famous on TikTok right now, almost like 5 million followers, because they had a girl that was doing the airplane shots. And she comes and dances with the waiters and stuff like that. And it's almost like a whole show. And they got really popular. Everybody's like, we want to see that type of content. Put them on the map. They're busy, so it worked out. Well, that girl just got hired at Sugar in Miami, the company, Sugar Factory. And they hired her because she has a huge following now. Because of that, she was, I think her name is Darcha, I think is her name. She's a professional dancer, so she knew how to dance. And then now she's like, they're trying to one up, but then people in the comments like, this is not the same vibe. No, this is not the same. This is so Miami. This is so like orchestrated. This is, and people were like, it was just a more quaint, more cool vibe in this small little town. And, you know, so, I mean, kudos for her. I mean, I think she's going to be a big success, but people just try to copy paste. And you can't. And you have to adapt based on where you're located, your market, the people that go there, like your customer base. I mean, I market for restaurants that are a franchise, and they're just like McDonald's. I don't know if a lot of you guys, but if you've been to a McDonald's outside of the US, I mean, forget about outside the US. We're in Florida. If you go to McDonald's in Texas, different. They sell spicy, sell more spicy meals than we do. Because people in Texas, there's a big Mexican population there. They like more of the spiciness, jalapenos and all the burgers. And I'm like, wait, we don't have that. I just went to McDonald's in Colombia, and they have by the way, their ice cream in Colombia and here is like day and night. It was so good. I was like, what is this? And it was a McFlurry, and there's a company called Milo, which is a chocolate. So they did a collaboration. Oof. Wow. I know that was fire. And I was just like, how come we don't have that? We just got Oreos and M&Ms. I was like, but that's the problem. Like they do. I hear what they do over there in Japan and all those different. Like, why we don't got that? Like we shouldn't even be eating McDonald's. But exactly. But I see why though. But so what? In other words, you got to take a page from these big brands, because McDonald's, Chili's, all these companies, they have a market research team, and what they're doing is they're adapting to the people that are there. I mean, you can't just copy paste. In other words, and in social media, I think people and people get impatient. They see like, oh, this person's going viral, and all they're doing is just dancing. You guys dance, you'll go viral. It doesn't work like that. And then I think what's happening with the restaurants is that brand guidelines is the most important. I think that is the foundation of the company, and down to the strategy, the tone, the colors, the typography, everything, patterns, logos, how you use the logos. That is all literally the standard of the company, and that is the driving force of how you then talk to the customer, you do your content, everything. And a lot of owners, I feel like they get impatient. They're like, well, screw that. Just do a funny video. Or they get impatient, like do Groupon, do a magazine ad, do billboard. And I'm just like, no. I'm like, guys, we're in the digital age. Like, your money will go a long way in the digital age. And we, you know, if you guys haven't seen it, we have a podcast coming up, or it may already came up with ACC, a collaboration we did with them and the air agency. And we just talk about paid ads. So how powerful it is and all that. And I think owners that are taking advantage of that are seeing the success, and the owners that are not, they're just in this question mark. And then they go to whatever I get calls all the time. Hey, should I do a billboard? Should I do a bus ad? Should I do this? I'm like, no. First of all, is your customer there? That's the thing. Like, come on. It just doesn't make sense. So, I think you're right. I think, owners that just don't structure or even and it's okay. There's different owners. There's owners that are owners, investors, that they just like, here's the money.
Yeah.
But then at that point, they got to put somebody in charge that's going to care about the restaurant. Normally, that's the operator, that's the general manager, that is, maybe has a little piece of the business or is incentivized to. That's the person that's going to be your point of contact. Then your team relies on that person. If that person doesn't exist,
it doesn't work.
The dots will never connect.
But even with that, even if you have that person, the one that invests the money, it depends on what kind of investor you got. Some of them want to be so hands-on.
Yep.
And then they're battling.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I saw. I got to see every facet.
Wow.
That's like every. So when you have that, that's also like an issue. So it's just a lot. You got to be like really mindful. I don't think restaurant owners and investors really understand that. And you said it perfectly. Like if you're the investor, stay the investor.
Yep.
Hire your project manager, hire all these individual people that you run and they answer to you and they tell you, and trust them. I don't think they're trusting them. So it's like, why are you hiring me if you don't trust me?
And especially, I mean, depending on the type of restaurant, because there's different levels to it. There's, you can start at an entry level where it's more mom and pop-ish, not in a very popular area. So maybe cost is low, overhead's low. And then they live in this mirage where they're like, well, we're barely paying the bill, so if only more customers come, we'll be fine. And it's just like, but you're not focusing on what will bring customers to the door. And then the ones that are high end, they have expensive rents and all that, so they have to do everything they can. They have high payrolls and everything, so they probably have some investment backing. But at some point, the money runs out.
Right.
So they're going to see that really quickly. So I mean, those. Open the door, so, there's different markets, you have to kind of like find that balance.
Yeah.
But no, and then, I think it's interesting what's happening now, with the restaurants. So that's why I want to kind of touch base on that, because you're in the restaurants.
Yeah.
Now, right now with your page, is there anything new that you have coming up? Any ideas? Are you going to still focus on restaurants right now? Or do you want to do a little more experiences?
So I did like a video to even start off the year.
Okay.
I kind of shifted Simply Lean. I still am doing the food blogging, but so much has like happened to me like in a year that I just want to share it in a bigger scope. Like I just don't only want to be known as the food blogger, which is so crazy because that's not even how the page started. And that's how everybody knows of me. But I shifted, and I also want my page to be somewhere where it's also faith-based as well.
Okay.
I'm very much in the church. I go to VU Church. And you see those kind of content that I do put on there. That's encouragement. I always want to encourage someone, change like that mindset, like just help you, whatever your walk is. But every time somebody does go on my page, I at least want you to see that light.
Yeah, like it's positive vibes.
Yeah, just positive vibes.
I think I've seen the videos, and I think you've done a good way of, sharing your side of like faith in a way where it isn't persuasive or like not persuasive. It's not like you have to do this. You have to follow me. You have to come, because there's people that are out there like that, and I think you did a great job of like just showing us, again, just like what you did with the restaurants, you're showing us the experience.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. I mean, people think church and all that has to be boring.
And it's not. When I say I have a time, we're gearing up. You'll see that content next that's coming up. We have a conference that's coming up in like 2 or 3 weeks, and it's our biggest conference.
Nice.
So we're having a lot of different speakers come in, and you'll see like me do behind the scenes and vlogging and showing you guys like that conference. Are
you working along with them or volunteering with them, or are you just doing this on your own?
No. So I'm actually, when I say heavy in it, I'm actually one of the team leads for one of the workshops that we're going to be doing there.
Okay.
So you'll see that side.
Nice.
Like there's VU Church, like amazing. Like that's home right there. Yeah. But there's so much opportunity that they give us. So it's like, that's the purpose that I want to share. Like we all have gifts. Like we were gifted with something. Whatever your talent is, that is what it is. And that's like my purpose. Like I want to encourage you. Like you were blessed to have a talent, find it, figure it out, and work through it. So
that's awesome.
On the page, that's what you'll see, different avenues.
That's awesome. I think that's great. No, because I think, and I mean, since you've been posting that, have you been getting good feedback from your followers and stuff like that?
I have people even on threads where they're like, what church do you go to? What location? Wow. And then some of them, I have like a Bible study crew, and they're like, what day is your Bible study crew? And I have a Bible study on Saturdays. Do you want to come? Like, it opens up just a different conversation.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's marketing. You're marketing without, you're
Not
talking about something
trying.
that you love, and you just found a community that also wants to do that, and you're connecting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what social media is about. It's a social place to connect.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just trying to make a quick buck, and it's like, it's not about that all the time.
It's not.
So,
granted, yes, everybody wants to make the money, but I don't know. I'm just like a different breed. Like, my mind's, yes, is that a perfect world? Absolutely. Yeah. But like, my mind is so shifted. Like, I know God will get me the money. Like, I'm good. Like, wherever he wants me to do right now, if I can, even with this podcast right now, if somebody writes you and says, what church does this girl go to? Yeah. I'm going to be so excited.
There you go.
Somebody wants to do that. Like, that is my purpose with my page. Whatever you see, if I go on a trip, let me tell you about this place that I went to. Want to go to a restaurant? Let me tell you about this.
They have a page, by the way?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll put that in the description, by the way.
We got you.
So you're good.
See?
You guys give, I don't know, it's a Christian?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys don't do that. I was going to say.
My pastor actually does.
No, because Catholic church, they give you a little, like, the fake bread that they give you or whatever. I was going to be like, he's got to give me a little double up, you know?
Not the double up the blessing.
It's like, yo, man. I remember when I first went to church as a little kid, I was like, what is this? We're eating and wine? And then I went to a Jewish church for the first time. I was like, they give you better bread there. I was like, what am I doing this whole time? I was a little kid. I had no idea what was going on. And then, don't get me started. When I went to the first gospel church, I was like up and down dancing. I was like, I felt so energetic. I was like, this is great.
It's good. It's good to review on every single one.
Yeah. No, you have to be open-minded. I think at the end of the day, I mean, you believe in what you believe, but I think at the end of the day, it's good is good and bad is bad. So, there's no, at the end of the day, it's good vibes, good positive energy, and then, just move forward. And hey, life happens. Yeah. Life happens. Absolutely. You're going to have ups and downs, but you're going to see yourself, who you really are, going through the downs and getting yourself out of that. Absolutely. So, I mean, I've been a big guy all my life. I was a football player, and now I'm on a weight loss journey. And by the time you see this, I might be even more weight down, but I'm hitting crazy goals, and people are like, yo, keep going. And, sometimes you got to have that wake up call. So, and it doesn't have to be a bad wake up call. Sometimes it's, my wake up call is my daughter. It was a good thing. I want to be there for her for a long time. I want to raise her and things like that. So, and for my family, my wife. So, shout out to the Vision Twins, my trainers. Yeet. So, but by this time, I'll probably comment on there, let you guys know where I'm at. So, or you know what, you guys can guess. If you're really watching this podcast, guess how much weight I'm down. Ooh. All right, and then whoever gets it right might get a gift card. So, hopefully you're in Fort Lauderdale and not like in another country. I can't send you a gift card.
We can't do that. Sorry, guys.
No, awesome. So yeah, now, when it comes to, all right, so you got the fake videos going in there. You're still doing some restaurant vlogging. Is there, now I want to touch base on this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Didn't you at one point have like your own clothing line or something like that? Or a bikini or like a swimsuit line?
I did a swimsuit line.
Okay.
It still exists.
Okay.
But I took a little pause. That's why I said I went through a lot, I will say. I had a whole lot going on. Breakups, figuring out who I am. Like, life was lifing. Let me just put it like that. And even with like content, like I was burnt out. I was like, no, I can't. There's too much in my brain. I'm trying to figure out how to life. I'm trying to figure out how to survive. Like, I just wasn't in like the right space. Yeah. And then I just took a backseat towards it.
Sometimes it's good to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. You have to regroup almost. And then,
But with it, that was me more being in my head. Yep. To be fair. And just like the whole, I want instant success. Like I was seeing I opened the swimwear line when it was COVID. But to be fair, like I didn't give it the fair chance. I wanted instant gratification. And it's like, babe, you didn't even give 100%. You gave maybe 50. Correct. So how are you going to expect that if you're
now that you know more about marketing, experiencing it yourself, you're probably like, I didn't even give it the shot it needs.
No, like now, I could have gone
do
way
you
harder.
Want to at some point like resurrect that or
absolutely 100%.
And then take it like almost like a rebrand, like relaunch,
I 100% want to relaunch. It's crazy that you said that because no lie, every other month somebody is asking me about the swimwear. They're like, what happened? Like, where is it?
You were doing a great job on like posting. You even had friends. I think you were doing it. You were doing it right. And like I told you, we had another podcast guest, Stephanie Polanco. She has PL Sports, and she's doing the same thing too. She's based in Fort Lauderdale. Hers is more like focused on like workout and things like that. But you were like really like flashy colors, different, you know, so it's pretty cool to kind of.
Listen, bikinis and swimwear, that used to be my thing. Like on my Instagram back then, that's all you would see. Every other picture is me in a bikini. Like, I love that. I'll be very honest. Being that designer is like a passion. I was like, I love it. Like, just as much as I like doing like social media. But that was like my baby. But I just feel like the time frame probably wasn't right, to be fair. And now that I'm a little bit older from that mindset, like, I can appreciate it. Am I going to resurrect her? Absolutely. But I want to do it the right way with the right mindset and go 100% in. Even if it doesn't work out that way, like, I didn't think it worked out that way. It's 2025 and people are still asking me about a brand that I opened 3-4 years ago. Like, that's crazy.
You did something right.
You're right.
You did something right. So,
and it's just different things. Like, I was talking to people that were even at Miami Swim Week. Like, girl, you are onto something. It's just get out of your own way. Like, sometimes you really do get in your own way of your success.
And that's important. It's funny you mentioned Miami Swim Week because didn't that just
going
happen?
On right now.
It's right now.
It is happening.
So talk about the importance of networking in general.
Woo! Networking. I'm going to tell all influencers, aspiring micro, all of that. The biggest tip, network. Like, you will be surprised who you meet wherever you go. Do not be afraid to talk. Please don't. Because you don't know who you're talking to that can put you onto something else. You have no idea. And then even introduce yourself to these brand managers. You would be surprised. Get out there. That is one thing, like, thank God I have that kind of personality where I'm not nervous to talk to people. But for some people that it's a little bit intimidating. Don't think about it. They don't know you. So at the end of the day, even if I wouldn't say fake it, but if you want to just, put on that performance of what your page is, be that person, because that is the brand that you're trying to sell.
Exactly.
So be that brand, but talk, because the amount of times that I had conversations in a room with someone else, and now every other day someone's asking me to do something. Like, I just got an email. I think these people are like in New York and they want to get on a call with me to talk about a future brand. I don't even know what the brands are, but I'm going to go on a call, and she just found me on Instagram like this, but she heard about me from a different page.
You
never know who's watching you. You never know who's talking to you. You never know. So that is one of my biggest tips. Like, I didn't think it, like, I would always hear, and I'm like, well, I already talked to people, but like, I was shocked. Like, you have to network. Like, it's like crucial to me. Like, and what I would piggyback off that is also, don't judge them by where they are at right now, because you never know where they're going to be when you might need them or they might need you. There's been people that I networked with, just seeing them at events and stuff like that, and at the time they weren't a manager, they were just there doing the same thing. But because we connected, then years later, all of a sudden I get a call. It's like, hey, I run the company of this and we need this. And I'm like, what? Right. I'm like, that great connection really led me to this. In other words, don't burn any bridges. Do not burn any bridges. You never know who's who. I mean, it's better to just, if there's people that you might want to stay away from because, bad energy, all that, but just stay away. That's it. But don't stoop down to their level. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's super. I mean, there's calls sometimes. It's happened many times where I was at a restaurant the other day and my buddy owns it. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, I love this restaurant. I didn't know you. Yeah, I bought it. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is great. He's like, I'm going to take care of you. Like, hey, by the way, I need marketing. I'm like, what the heck just happened here? I came for dinner and I'm leaving with a contract. Listen, those be the best ones. You just never know. And word of mouth, I think, is very, very strong, especially about you and your brand. And then, whether you have a company, then of course you want to form that in your company. If it's just you want to make sure that really speaks volumes, because people talk. So you don't want to be known as like, she has a great following, but personality sucks. Like, no. We want people. Energy attracts energy. So, and then, and people talk. Yeah. I'm telling y'all, be mindful when y'all go into these places. If you don't have you have a stank face, all that. Speaking of that, people talk. I'm talking to you. Ninja warriors on keyboards over here. Have you ever dealt, or how do you, like, with any bad comments or anything like that, or called you out like, oh girl, you got that wrong, that's a great place, and I love those wings and you're saying it's not good, how do you deal with the comments coming in and flooding at the same time and all that? So it's okay. So the audiences are very different. Because Instagram, they don't be on my page talking crazy.
Okay.
TikTok now.
I feel like TikTok is unfiltered.
TikTok is listen. They are raw. They are
Yes.
raw. They're gonna give it to you, and they're gonna be like, "No, you're lying." Like, oh my gosh, like, what do you mean I'm lying? Yep. So I had to experience that. Like Instagram, I get randoms, like the little random ones. Like I don't care. Like you don't even know what's going on. TikTok, like I had a big one. I posted Manje, but I have like literally my own opinions on it, and I got invited to go to a different location. Okay. I got invited to go to the Doral one. If you haven't tried it, go to the Doral one. Okay. So I went to that one. I like that one more, in my opinion.
And I think people were going off.
It was like a war, but it wasn't even like a war with me. It was like a war with the comments. And they're like, no, the Citadel. And I'm like, no, like I like Doral, but like you can like what you like. Yeah. But like it was like battle where, oh, well, I don't really like the food, but like, what did you try though? Like, and to me, it does depend on the location because when I went to the other location, I wasn't a fan. I'll be very honest. But when I went to Doral, I'm like, yes, like this is fine. Like,
I haven't been to that one yet.
The Doral one to me.
Is that a food court kind of a thing where it's like
Citadel is the one that's in a more like food court kind of vibe.
It's like a big building. I've been to that one. It's in Miami, but it's like a big building.
Yeah, like kind of like Little Haiti.
Parking sucks. Yeah. You have to go to the back.
Wild.
And they have a rooftop or something like that.
Not for me. I'm sorry. For me, the quality wasn't up to par. Like I was like not impressed, and I'm like, I don't even want to do this. So when they invited me again, I was like, and they're like, no, the Doral location. So I was like, let me give it a try.
Oh, it's the same owners.
Yeah, it's literally the same owner. Oh, wow. It's just different locations.
Got it.
So I was like, let me, because they have like an outside company. I guess
is it the same type of cuisine on both?
Same cuisine.
Nice.
It's just I don't know.
Well, you see that's where location matters, like you said.
It matters. You know, so, I don't know if it's because it's Doral. I don't know if it's because of your team. Again, your team. If you don't care about the food, baby, it's not gonna come out the way it's supposed to. So when I went to the one in Doral, for me, because some people are like Citadel's lit. Not for me. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it raw. I don't like it. For me, they okay. Doral, like the food, the flavor, it was just like
it just had it going.
But in them comments, baby, listen, and it's like you have to talk like. Because sometimes they get a little out of pocket, and it's like, who are you talking to? And then you got to remind yourself, like, I got to get like ChatGPT, professional. Like, okay, let me not. Like, I'm not like a regular. Like, I got to be careful because I want you to come back to my page. Like, you are more than welcome to say your opinion, and I say it in the most nicest way back to you. Correct. But like, when it starts getting a little spicy, you will get deleted. Like, I'm not about to have all of that negative and you going back and forth with another follower. Like, we're not doing that. Like, we're not doing that.
That's fun. You almost kind of, like when you go live, like on TikTok, they have moderators. Like, you almost need a moderator for your comments.
Because when I say they be going crazy, and they like crazy, and it's with each other, and I'm like, you don't even know this person, so why are you going so hard? But listen, TikTok, they got a point to prove on there.
No, it's at the end of the day, look, it's good interaction, and that's what you want to happen on your page.
Yeah, of course,
because that's how the algorithm feeds. Is like, hey, something's happening here, and there's no such thing as bad press. I mean, at the end of the day, you're getting attention. In this case, you're like, hey,
go at it, guys.
Go at it. Just don't put me in there. Right. I ain't do nothing wrong.
Asking me, I'm gonna tell you what I ate.
I'm the messenger. That's it. Like, relax. No, but that's awesome. That's interesting. Yeah. No, because a lot of people when they get these comments, sometimes it can get nasty. So it's just like, obviously if it gets too nasty, you can block them or whatever. Sometimes it's bot accounts.
I've heard from other like, creators where they're like, we had to delete, or one of them had to get snappy, and I had to tell, like, we were like in a group chat, and I'm like, you need to take that down. Yeah. Like, you got to remember, like, I used to tell all of them this, and I get that from my background of like dancing professionally. Yeah. Like, my coach, that was her specific thing. Even if you're going to Publix, you are branding yourself. Yeah. Like, she does not play. So they used to manage our Instagram, and like, that's one thing. Like, like, we couldn't post certain things, and if we did post certain things, like, it has to be tasteful. And if you are going to write something, like, you're a brand at the end of the day. Like, you are a brand. You have to be mindful of every little thing that you do, because you don't know who's watching you. You don't know.
That's true. I mean, I didn't know that. Now, that kind of ties me into my next thing. So at one point, you worked for the Peaks.
I did.
So my question is, from what I hear, now you are behind the scenes, so you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
My understanding is you get hired there not as a waitress, but almost as an like a model or actress, so they're allowed to, you know, you can brand your Instagram, and they're allowed to tell you like if you look bad dressed, you got to go home, you know, because you're not allowed to do that, you know, legally. So they have ways of doing that. Is that correct? If they treat you like, because your image is important for the brand. So
Twin Peaks now and Twin Peaks when I did it.
I feel like Twin Peaks now is a different Twin Peaks.
It's two different ones.
Yes. Yep.
OG Twin Peaks, I loved it. I'll be fair. My time expired, but I did love it when I was there. It wasn't so much like a model. Like if you were a server and you knew how to serve and you were a bartender, then that's just what it was. Like that's what you were going in there.
Yeah.
Was it image? Yes. Like you couldn't be big. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. But yeah, you couldn't be big. You always had to have your makeup done. Your hair always had to be done. Like you're presenting yourself. You're Twin Peaks. This is why everyone is coming to Twin Peaks. Like,
did they, like when you applied, did they ask you for like how many followers you have or your Instagram?
No, at that time, Instagram wasn't like popping like that.
Because
like,
TikTok didn't exist at the time. No,
Instagram was not popping. It literally, like, if I archive things now, but if you would go back and look at my Instagram, like I literally was just having the time of my life. Like, just showing you guys pictures. Ooh, Memorial Day. Like that was it. Like it wasn't something where it's like, let's see how many followers. Like no, they weren't doing that. Like they genuinely, like if you were a pretty girl and they felt like you fit the cut, baby, you are getting hired.
Wow.
That was their thing. Wow. But you had to, if you wanted good sections and all these different things, like you had to stay within what they want as the image of a Twin Peaks girl. And I can't even fault them because at the end of the day, like that's their brand. Their brand is pretty girls.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Pretty girls that look slim, or for me, like I was a chocolate girl and I was a little bit more a little cute, slim, thick, you know?
No, I was curious about that because I had another friend that worked at a different Twin Peaks. She was a bartender. Now she's a model. She actually
I think
Miami's,
I know who?
Miami Swim Week, Renee.
Yeah, that's who I worked with.
Yeah. Oh, you did work with her, right?
Yeah, we opened that same location together. That's my girl.
So it was cool to like see like from there to where she's at. So that's awesome.
She was like my first like with a transition where it's like, okay, it's time to go.
There you go. So I have not been to Twin Peaks in a while. I went the other day.
And it's not the same. It's not.
Let's just say one word: deflated.
Deflated.
I felt like I was at a C-level Twin Peaks. All right, I'm married, guys. All right, so relax. But it was just like I was like, "Yo, what is going on?" Yeah,
they got lost. I honestly don't know what happened.
Well, you know that the owners of Twin Peaks were owners of Hooters.
Yeah.
You know that they hopped over, right?
Yeah.
He sold Hooters and then he hopped over, and then everybody's wondering why is Twin Peaks catching all this fire? I mean, you got a guy that already did it with Hooters, and he pretty much rebranded, and he had other investors, and I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to the point where I was like, yeah, Hooters is kind of they're hurting right now. Fair,
Twin Peaks food, in my opinion, people might not agree with me, but I'm not a fan of Hooters food like that.
No, the only thing, Hooters food, the only thing that I was that people would like say, let's go eat Hooters was wings.
Yeah.
And it was like the breaded wings. For some reason, the breaded wings were good, but at the time, it wasn't like I needed to have it every day.
Yeah.
And then, obviously the guys want to go there and all that and then watch sports and all this. It's a true sports bar.
Yeah.
But then Twin Peaks, what drew me to Twin Peaks, and I'm not a beer guy, but the cold beer.
Listen.
Holy crap.
That was the best.
Like that shit is freezing. Like the sign, everything.
But their food too, though. Like their food is actually really good. Like the menu keeps evolving, and I think that's what keeps them going.
I think they got some bacon that's like, I remember the first time I had it, I was like, why is this bacon expensive? I was like, trust me. I'm like, yo, I'm not paying for two. Trust me.
It's worth it.
Yep. So
like, they had a good concept. Yeah. I don't know what happened because the image for the girls, it was a standard. And then like I laugh and everybody like laughs at me when I say it, but I'm like, bruh, after us, like y'all declined.
That's
like
crazy.
What happened? Like, where's the standards? What's, and not all of them, they're okay, but then like a lot of them look like kids to me. That's another thing. When they first hired all of us, we all looked our age, but like cute. Like it was more like grownish.
I don't know about you, but lately I've been looking at like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm in high school or nothing like that, but I remember what I looked like when I was in high school.
I don't remember looking like that.
And when I look at the kids now in high school, I'm like, are you in middle school?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like maybe it's because we're kind of, I saw a thing on social media the other day and it said, oh, you have just surpassed your TV mom and dad. And they posted like all the sitcoms, TV mom and dads.
Yeah, we were right.
And then I saw them And I'm just like, man, that guy looked like he was 60 at the time. You telling me he was 32? I'm like, what?
And us in our 30s, we look to our prime.
Yes.
Our age group, listen, y'all can't tell me nothing. I love when people get confused about our age. I'm like, yes, that's me.
So I was just like, this is crazy. So I don't know, maybe, I don't know what's going on. But
it's a weird time.
But yeah, there's some times where I'm just like, yeah, high schools it was different.
It was different. But we had a better, I don't care what anybody says. We had the best childhood. Yeah. We had the best everything. Like we experienced life. Like
I think our generation experienced we're like a mutt. We experienced the beginning of technology.
Yep.
The end of like, the 80s were ending and stuff like that. And then the 90s came, technology and all that. And we grew into phones. I mean, guys, we didn't have a portable phone at the time. You had to be rich to have that. And then when Flip, and then it was crazy. And then AOL and all that. It got to the point where we were the test dummies for all of it. We still are. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you really look at it, like, yes, we have beautiful iPhones and Androids now, but go back to 15 years ago and the phones look like, you look at it now, you're like, I would never buy that.
No.
But at the time we were like,
but you're going to tell me nothing.
So it's crazy, so we, that's why like kids now, I expect them at least they have so much tools. Yeah. I mean, they have ChatGPT.
They have it.
And I feel like I would be like, if I had that when I was in school, use it as a tool.
Flying A's.
Correct.
Everywhere.
And some of them they don't even know how to use it, or they kind of rely on it where they fail because they're like, oh, I copy paste. I'm like, come on.
You got to zhuzh it up a little.
So it's just, I don't know. I mean, there's a generation for everybody. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like that generation, like the Bitcoin came out and all that. So they're probably learning all that. And we're over here like, what is that? Either we getting it or not. So that's what we're getting old. We know I get it. But at the same time, it's like, times change. It is what it is. It's crazy. 100 years from now, what will happen? So holograms on your phone. I don't know. So we'll see. But again, just like anything, I think the key word is adaptation. You have to adapt.
You have to adapt.
So if like a restaurant like Twin Peaks doesn't adapt or figure it out, I mean, for all we know, they could be doing decent. I went on a busy Thursday night, so supposed to be busy because I went to the new location on Fort Lauderdale, but a commercial and not commercial, Cypress and
okay.
It used to be Champs before or whatever.
Oh,
that's what it was.
Okay,
but not Champs. It was a restaurant called Champs.
Oh, I was gonna say okay.
And then they shut down, and then they ended up opening up Twin Peaks, and I was like, oh, that's a great location because they've been wanting to put something there, and ever since it opened, it was like this, and I went there, it was like dead, and I'm like,
but it's also the hype.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
We were at the Pembroke Gardens.
Yeah.
And it was lit.
That's the one I used to live right by there. That's the one when that thing opened up.
Lit.
Woo, that was the spot.
And when I say I used to make bread, like I worked almost every single day, and I kid you not, I'm not trying to be funny. If I worked on Monday, by Tuesday, I had enough for the week.
Wow.
By the end of the night of Tuesday, I probably would work 3 days and I'm good. If I don't want to go, I don't need to go.
Yeah.
But like that's how much we were seeing the volume. Like,
wow.
What? You couldn't tell me anything. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, of course.
We always making good money then.
No, that's good. That's great. No, that's great. Well then, yeah, I mean, tell us or share with us like what's next. I mean, what are your plans? What are your goals right now? Just for you, Simply Lean. What's on Simply Lean's mind?
What's on my mind? I do, and it's so crazy that you did tap back into it. I do want to focus more on the swimwear to get back into that. But I also want to focus on digital marketing as well.
Okay.
And in a sense of helping others and beginners, because I realize that is a big thing that I used to complain about a lot or get frustrated about, that we don't have that many tools. We don't have that many. A lot of creators like, oh yeah, we'll help you. And they really don't. Yep. They don't want to. They don't want to share their sauce or anything. It's just a weird.
Or they're trying to sell you a course.
Yeah. And it's like some of the courses though, I will say are not bad. Like there's some like I have seen and I have purchased myself. And I'm like, this is good information for what's going on right now.
Correct.
So in this digital marketing space, because it's booming.
Yeah.
And if you know how to tweak it and you know how to pinpoint who you're attracting, it will work for you.
I mean, everything is right now. I mean, right now we're in the beginning stages of AI. As much as people think like, oh, it's here. Yeah, it's here, but we're still so early.
Yeah.
it's in our fingertips, and everybody. That's why people think like, oh, it's here and all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's here, but you do know that we are the guinea pigs. Like everything that we type in ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever, they're using so that they can make a better one and a better one. So it's good. Use it as a tool and all that. But you know, it's just a tool. It's just like using a pencil. I can draw, maybe you can't draw, but if you learn the principles, fundamentals, you will be able to learn how to draw if you practice and stuff like that. So practice makes perfect. It's very important that, you know, digital, I mean, right now, I don't know if you even video game or hear about it, but like the delayed launch of Grand Theft Auto, the game.
They still delaying it?
Another year.
That's crazy.
So when that game, well, the craziest stat is that the one that it's been 11 years now, it's going to be 11 years next year, that they made the old one. They're making so much. They're making billions. Yeah. So it's like, we don't care about the delay. Now. She's like, lit. But the new one, supposedly from what I keep hearing, and I don't really, I'll definitely probably, that's the one game that I'll probably get into gaming if I have the time. But they're going to make a digital like marketplace in there where like, almost like when they were doing crypto and you buy, it's going to get, because there's so many people that play that now it's going to be its own market, crypto and everything. And it's going to be the first game to kind of explode into, and I see it happening. Smart. So at some point, you know, like for example, we advertise in, you know, billboards, digital ads and all that. That's just another place for a customer to see an ad. Don't be surprised you see Coca-Cola on there. Don't be surprised you see something. You're going to get that. And that's marketing. So it's pretty, you know, at the end of the day, like social media is what we all know and what everybody sees. That's like the hook, right? Yeah. But moving forward, there's going to be new things. You know, today's TikTok, what's tomorrow? I mean, TikTok's taking us for a roller coaster. One day it's going to shut down and and comes back.
The world was in a tizzy.
People were freaking out. People were like, follow me on YouTube, on Pinterest. Go back on
Instagram.
Text me.
Lemonade, all that.
Yeah, people freaked out. Freaked out. They had no idea what they were going to do. At the end of the day, and this is for any creator and even yourself too, what I recommend is try to send a community. You're filtering out. So let's say you have 1 million followers on Instagram and TikTok. That's great. Now to remove those followers and bring them to like your website where you control 100% of what's on there, you might not get the 1 million followers. But the goal is to convert that into either like selling products, buying a course, you know, work with you, whatever the case may be. Let's say you get half of that. 500,000 people just came here. And then how many people are actually going to buy it? And you're going to filter it out. Now, the good thing is that the bigger your bucket, the sales are going to be bigger. Yeah. So I call it a 10% rule. So you continue to filter your fans out. And that's what people do. Like I noticed there's some podcasts that they're not even on YouTube right now. They're on Patreon. So because they're like, we're giving you a simple 8-minute YouTube thing. You're like this hooked. And now it's like, go subscribe and pay $15 a month. And you're like, dang, but you're going to eventually get it. So it makes sense. You better thank me because I'm doing it for free on YouTube. All right. So all these gems we're dropping is free for now. All right, I might just throw this on OnlyFans, create an OnlyFans like Wingstop did. Yeah. You know, Wingstop made OnlyFans?
Stop, for real?
Yeah.
I'm crying.
Yeah, they made an OnlyFans. So I think this like 2 or 3 years ago, they're known for wings. Right. And then they did a whole campaign about chicken thighs and chicken breast. They were selling chicken breast for the first time. So they were like, come and check out my breast. And then they had a link and you click on it and it was a legit OnlyFans page. You had to pay
to see. And it blew up.
And I looked, I was like, let me just go online and see what this picture is. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Genius.
It was just chicken.
Genius.
I'm like, that's marketing. At the end of the day, marketing. Because it was during COVID. They did it during with hype. Because what they did, and it goes back to what I said, data is what people are going after. They saw the pool of people going here. They're like, how do we get there in a creative way? So
and that top tier.
Wendy's Twitter.
Listen, Wendy's Twitter?
I don't know the story of who it is or he or she, but
top tier. I hope they got a raise.
This is my story without me doing any research. I think it was a 20-year-old kid at the time that just said, screw this, I'm gonna do whatever I want and prove my boss is wrong. And damn, I think they hit a home run. Because I don't think corporate was ready for that. And it was just like calling everybody out. I mean, the way Twitter should be used, you know. Sorry, X.
Nah.
Whatever. Twitter, I don't even.
It's the X for me.
But it was
It's the X for me.
So it was great. It shows, and it's funny because you see these corporate brands try to copy, and it's like it's not the same.
It don't hit. Wendy's, I hope they got a raise.
I hope so too.
And whoever it is, they better be the top dog in that whole situation.
It was a roast fest. A roast fest. I was like, this is great.
I said, look at Wendy's.
I was like, you wanted to go on the page and be like, yo, this is cool. Why are you eating Wendy's? Like, this is awesome. This is great. I have what was it? Not a Frosty. Yeah, Frosty, right? Yeah,
the Frosties.
Oh boy, that's crazy.
That was classic.
Yeah. No, but listen, at the end of the day, it's marketing. You just got to know how to send in a message and get the message out, and then you want them to, become a fan of you, and then those fans are going to help you grow. Mm-hmm. So, and then of course, you're always going to have. It's just like anything, like music. Like right now, there might be a song that's hot on the radio. Everybody loves it. Yeah. I mean, look at Vanilla Ice, one hit wonder, right? You think of one hit wonder, that's probably one of the one guys you probably come to. Oh, Vanilla Ice. Yes, it's popular still and all that, but like, what other song do you know about him? Like
none.
So it's just like
that's crazy.
So it's just like, all right, do you want to be the one hit wonder, or do you want to continue that community growth, right?
And there's just so many different ways that you can grow. Don't do so many all at once. Figure out what flows for you in that sense, and that's why like the next step. I know, and I keep feeling like I'm getting called to do it, but like I genuinely do want to help like beginner creators and people also like I have a 9-to-5 now, and I know some people you don't want to be in a 9-to-5. Yep. So for me, I'm like, how do I get out of my 9-to-5?
All right. So let me touch upon this as the last topic.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of creators, or not, I don't want to say wannabe, but want to become a creator, because wannabe is not a good word. Want to become a creator, but they're watching this right now and they're like, but I'm stuck in my 9-to-5. Mm-hmm. You just mentioned something great, but what do I do? Like, how do I? So what would you recommend somebody that is trying to do something on social media, become an influencer or whatever they want to do, create their own niche, but they still have a 9-to-5 because we got to pay bills. We get it. I mean, you're one of those that it is possible. So like, what advice would you give them?
Me now, figure out which space you want to get into. Master, again, we all have gifts. Yep. And a lot of us don't pay attention to the gift that we have. Yep. So I slept on it a lot of the times. You have to take a moment because your 9-to-5 is your 9-to-5, but then see what you're good at. Social media.
But the gift, I think the reason why they don't see it, because the gift is that to them it's normal. Yeah. But outsiders, it's like, wow, you can do that. You have this, you have that great energy. It's like, yeah, but to me that's normal. Yeah. So to them, they don't value it as a gift. So I think it's important that, or maybe they do know, and it's time to like let that baby shine. Yeah. Like, sometimes don't be afraid. You get intimidated. Sometimes it's like, well, they already have this, because that was another thing that I've heard where, well, it's so saturated, baby. Everything to me is saturated, and at the end of the day, no matter how saturated something is, if they want you, they are going to book you. Like I say that to everyone. I don't listen to that saturated foolishness because there's a lot of creators that have way more followers than me, and I'm at a restaurant before they are, or I'm at a grand opening before they are, and they go months later after me. Wow. And you have 30, 50, 60, and little old me, and I'm not little because the big me put a big on me. I sit there and I get to go to different grand openings or get invited to X, Y, and Z. Like, you just never know. So it's just like, put yourself out there and trust what you have. It takes a lot, but understand who you are and then figure out, well, what am I going to attack? And that went back to the 30 days where I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try this. Try as many things. It's not going to kill you. What's the worst thing that can happen? The people say no. Correct. There's 5 other restaurants that are going to say yes to you. There's 5 other hotels that'll probably say yes to you. There's many different experiences. You can figure it out. It's just, you got to take the time and don't get discouraged. Like, please don't get discouraged. It's so easy to get discouraged because you want that instant gratification. And that's something that I had to learn. And that's why I said I need to shift more into that digital marketing, into the sense of like, there's another Dorleen, like that was me. Yeah. That was trying to figure out and nobody was helping me. And I'm like, you know what? I work a 9-to-5. I know I want to get out of the 9-to-5 space. How am I going to do that? Digital marketing is blowing up. I went to school for that. Why not? And I see all these different courses, and I'm in one of the courses, and honey, when I say that thing is packed with information, but it's so packed with information that there's literally a niche for you to figure out how to capitalize on that. So it just does a roadmap.
It literally is a roadmap to figure out if you want to be an Amazon affiliate, if you want to do Pinterest, if you want to be
That's
like
crazy.
YouTube, if you Instagram, like the course literally touches on everything. And then even if you don't want to do any of that, but you want to create something on your own that sparks someone, it teaches you that. So like a lot of people don't look at it in that way. And I'm like, you know what? I was looking for that. I was lucky to find that. I need to actually switch it now and cater it more to beginner creators to help them with 9-to-5s. Even if you don't have a 9-to-5, but you're just stuck and you're still trying to figure it out. That's the path that now I'm trying to go into, going to go into. And now I'm just figuring out like, what's the next step with that?
Correct. No, I think that's great. And definitely don't be discouraged that you think you have to have a professional camera. Listen, there is a learning curve. You can't, Rome wasn't built in a day also. You need time. It's funny that you mentioned about the 30 days because when we had our first episode actually with Robbie World, he did something similar to at one point when he started to pick up some fire in his early stages of becoming an influencer. He kind of shut down for a little bit. And then I think it was 60 days. He recorded enough videos for 60 days straight. And he was posting when nobody was doing that, like every day. Everybody's like a skit. And it was like a scripted skit. It wasn't a 2-second video or like a text video that we do now that, because everybody's so impatient, they only watch 2 seconds. Like it's gonna get to the point where like the video's gonna be like we're gonna go back to pictures. I'm like, that's a video, right? It's like, what you mean? It's like, yeah, it happened so fast.
But you didn't even catch it. Like, slow down.
So hey, that might be a trend,
He thought of it first, y'all.
So that kind of took him to another level too, because he was so consistent, right? And that was him trying it for the first time. So the fact that you were to try, and again, we're not saying like, okay, you got to shoot 30 days and then do this. Find something, make a plan, stick to the goal, lock in, be consistent, and live with the results. And then whatever the results are, you adjust.
Yes.
Don't just give up.
That's it.
Everybody goes, it didn't work. I have a friend that started a podcast and I was like, yo, what happened? Episode 3. And I was like, I was looking forward to episod 4. It's not working out. I only got like 5 likes and all. I'm like, you never know who's watching, dude. You never know. All it takes is like one person what do you want to do? You want someone personal trainer? So, okay, great. Your client might be watching this.
Right.
You don't need $100 million. $100 million would be nice, but 100 million followers. So it's like, people give up too easily, I feel. And they get discouraged and they want that instant gratification. And it's just like, it doesn't work like that. Like, yes, can you win the lottery tomorrow? Yes, but who do you know won the lottery? Like, I haven't won the lottery. Do you have a family member? I mean, it's very, very, very small, those people.
I think we got to live like in like
I think, and they live like in the middle of the United States every time. That's another thing I want to talk about Florida lottery. Who these people winning these billions of dollars? I don't know. Jim John and John Jim. I don't.
Living in the middle of nowhere.
One guy won it twice recently.
Like how?
I'm just like.
We're never going to get it down here in South Florida. I'm convinced.
So yeah, I think it was one time there was like a Hispanic family in Miami that won, but it wasn't like the big one. I was just, let's go.
We did it.
He looks like he lives here. Yes. That's my boy. I don't know, but I think he won the 5,000 for life one.
Oh, okay.
I was like, every week he gets 5,000. Like, you good now, bro. I was like, invest, you good. But But hey, marketing. But listen, thank you for being on the podcast. I look forward to seeing like where you're gonna continue growing. Looking forward to seeing the swim line, bringing it back and things like that. And then hopefully maybe we'll have a podcast episode on just that with the new line, see what's going on. If you guys didn't hear, make sure you follow her on Simply Lean, all platforms, right?
All platforms.
TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. So you're good. And then, take it from there. And then, thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. So thank you guys. That's a wrap.
Thanks for watching.
Peace.